So you want to know what it's like to drive a G87 M2? Well, in this video, I'm going to give you every single feeling that you'll get behind the wheel of this absolute rocket ship. And the first thing you'll want to do is take a look at what's under your hood, which is the famous S58 engine from BMW. This is a 3-liter twin-turbo inline 6, making the biggest lie of a power number I've ever heard in my life. They claim 473 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque, but guys, this car can beat other cars in roll races that it should not even be able to touch, not even come close to. So that tells me either every single other car manufacturer is lying, or BMW, well, this thing makes a lot more power than they actually claim. If I did not know the power number on this car, I would rate this thing somewhere between 520 to 550 horsepower. And you'll see why once we go for a drive, but this is bar none the fastest car I've ever driven for a car that claims to be in the high 4s. It just can't be the case. As for the design, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments, but the front end still hasn't really fully grown on me. It's a bit weird. It's like squares in the front with headlights that it doesn't feel like it flows together all that nicely. Nonetheless though, it is a very aggressive front end. You have 275s up front for your tires and 285s in the rear, with all of the power being sent right here, making the M2 quite a handful. The rear end of this is absolutely my favorite angle of this car. I do love the taillights. I love those massive quad tip exhausts. I love that M2 badge, and in this color. It's a very nice color if you ask me, very common on BMWs nowadays. And this one is optioned for the carbon fiber roof. So this saves 48 pounds from the BMW M2. All right, stepping inside of this car, you're first and foremost greeted with very cool animations. Oh my gosh. Even the car in here matches the same color as our exterior. That is beautiful. Let's go ahead and start it out. Now, right when you take a seat in here, first and foremost, this one does not have the carbon bucket seats. These are the standard seats. I still think this has a very nice design though. Blue, black, and red, M2 badge on the headrest. They are absolutely comfortable, but still do feel sporty, and they bolster you in very nicely. Adjustable thigh bolsters as well. But most importantly, this interior is insane. You are constantly reminded that you are sitting in a very, very special car. Starting with the steering wheel here, all leather, nice big BMW logo right here, carbon fiber all along the steering wheel with an M badge down here. You got your M modes, which we'll talk about in just a second. So much carbon fiber all down here as well. Carbon fiber all along the dash. This is actually, I hate when this thing is up because I just like that full carbon view going down the whole center console. That is just beautiful. You can get a 8-speed automatic or a 6-speed manual. This example does have the 6-speed manual. If you're going for 0 to 60 times, if you're going for track times, get the automatic. But if you want a more engaging driving experience and a car that may hold its value better, that's where the manual comes into play. And also, love it or hate it, you get two, or I guess, well, one big screen that's divided into two through this little black section right here. And you have a lot of different stuff to play around with inside of this infotainment screen. Most notably though is setting up your own custom M modes. I just mentioned you have these two buttons here, and you get to configure what these actually mean. If you jump into either M1 or M2 configuration, you can change more settings than I have ever seen any car have in terms of what's adjustable with the car. Engine, rev match, chassis, steering, brake, dynamic stability control, traction control, auto start stop, and your active exhaust. For this video, we are going to jump straight into M2 mode, which puts everything in its most aggressive setting, and you could hear those exhaust valves open up right away, which is so cool. All right, with that, let's go ahead and release the parking brake here. We're gonna put this over into first gear, and let's go ahead and take off. And just at a very, very soft tap of the throttle, you feel this thing is ready to go. Now, you'll see in a moment that it takes a little bit for those turbos to kick in and really glue you to the back of your seat. It happens at right about 4,000 RPM. Below that, you still get the sensation that this car is ready to go and it has a lot of power. But if you really want access to all that, you just gotta cross that 4,000 RPM, and it feels like at the snap of a finger, you're up about 200-ish horsepower with the sensation you get as soon as you cross 4,000 RPM. Clutch and shifter feel very, very nice as well. I've definitely heard some people complain about that, but from my experience, I have no issues with how this manual transmission setup feels here. Oh my gosh. These M cars just sound like mini jets. It's like you're sitting in the cockpit of an actual jet. Some people may laugh at me for saying this, but I almost imagine this as like a mini Bugatti with the way that it feels, because those turbos just spool up and it just can rocket off of the line. We're gonna hop on the interstate in just a second. We'll really floor it once we get there. Oh my, oopsie, you didn't see anything. This is one of the fastest cars I have ever driven. I think it may be because my expectation was so low, seeing a horsepower number that started in the 4s. It's like, oh, I've been there, done that. But no, this thing feels like mid-5s at least. The M2 weighs 3,814 pounds, which unfortunately is definitely on the heavier side for a sports car, especially a 2-door compact sports car. This thing's 180 inches long, which helps with the maneuverability, but you wouldn't expect this thing to weigh 3,800 pounds. But when you pair that with a horsepower number of being in the high 4s, you're like, oh, it can't be that fast. It is. My gosh, and with all of this power sent to those rear tires only, it creates such a thrilling experience. Comparing this to the M4 Competition X Drive that I drove, the thing just felt like it had my back no matter what. Like, you can floor it at 0 miles an hour, the thing's just gonna go, it's gonna grip. In the M2, you are getting a bit squirmy, guys, and this is in summer with grippy tires. It is hot outside. It's not raining or anything, yet if you do a second gear pull, you're gonna be fighting with the steering wheel a little bit. Oh man, that throttle is very, very sensitive. If you do have this thing in efficient mode and full comfort mode, it is nowhere near as like aggressive and like ready to go as it is, of course, in its most aggressive setting. But you really notice, even if I just apply the exact same amount of throttle but switch the mode, the car just got slower. Tap M2, I'm not applying any additional throttle, and the speedometer starts climbing. It's like it makes the throttle input just more sensitive when you put it in its more aggressive setting. I've never felt a car actually do it like that with the throttle before, but it like affects the gas pedal, which is really cool. Oh my gosh, I really do feel like I'm sitting in a rocket ship right now. This is unbelievable. All right, we've got no one behind us here. Let's slow down a little bit and let's do a pull from first gear here. Ready, set, go. My gosh. A bit of a corner. Oh man. man, the suspension with how firm it is really makes you feel just planted inside of the corner. That is nice. Now we've got a quick moment in traffic, and I think it's worth noting if you're going to be commuting inside of your G87 M2, it is definitely comfortable in a scenario like this. This has a much more aggressive suspension, even if you are in its comfort setting. So you are constantly reminded that you are absolutely driving an aggressive sports car. But when you are on flat road like this and there's no bumps, with these seats, with the AC going, this is easily a car that you could lay back in and honestly forget that you're sitting in an M2. It's just if you are rolling at 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, there are just even some tiny uneven surfaces in the road. Even if you're in comfort mode, you're going to feel those bumps. So that is worth noting. One of the many things I love about the G87 M2 is that a lot of cars that are more designed for the track or for hitting corners are just not fun to take on like interstate roads or highway roads or let the thing ring out. But the G87 M2 has more than enough power to really enjoy yourself just simply doing pulls. In fact, that's partly what this car was made for. Even just stock. Again, if you want to tune this thing up, add more power, that is at your disposal. And then hitting the highway, well, you could probably throw pink slips on racing because you can just say, oh, you know, 473 horsepower, and then little do you know, you're probably making 600 wheel horsepower and still the car's reliable for you. Because yeah, that's what these cars are made for. And I love how it has both. It has the cornering, it has the track, but it has the open highway drag racing, roll racing personality to it as well. All right, guys, I'm gonna do a quick pull here starting at 3,000 RPM and just watch that speedometer as it climbs and how much faster it moves once it hits about 4,000 and beyond. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Flooring it, flooring it. Here we go, here we go. There it is. That is unreal, unreal. Now, could complain that you don't have that much power on the low end. You really have to wring this car out in order to get that that mid 500 horsepower number that I seriously do think this car makes. In fact, if there's a dyno chart, I'm gonna put it up here because that is somebody's had to have dynoed one of these cars with how insane this is. And let's talk about the sound for a second. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Would you pick a V8 or a twin turbo inline 6? You know, it sounds good. I would say this does not sound as good as a V8. That's just my opinion. But I mean, nonetheless, you're reminded that you have a very powerful twin turbocharged engine sitting right in front of you. It's just the stock exhaust, even with the valves open, for me, it's not that crazy. A little bit of gurgles, which I do like. It's pretty muffled though, which is, I would want to do something to open up the exhaust a little bit more. You can probably see me actually kind of bouncing up and down. We're about to hit a bump here. Yep, big bounce. And man, the more I play with this manual transmission, the more I really do like it. It's effortless to throw it into gear, and the rev matching works perfect. wish there was more that happens on the downshifts, because you guys can hear it for yourself. It's all right. And to spend a second to talk about the competition with this car, and no pun intended, because, you know, BMW competition, right? But the competitors to this car, if you're about to spend $60,000, I would argue the closest competition is going to be the Cadillac CT4V Blackwing with the manual transmission. If you're going with the automatic BMW M2, the Audi RS3 is probably the closest competitor. But you also have some cars that you could throw in the mix, like a Mustang Dark Horse, a C8 Corvette, and all of those are really phenomenal to drive. To cut to the chase though, I am enjoying this car more than the CT4V Blackwing. And given that, well, the C8 Corvette doesn't have a manual transmission, if I got the M2, I'm getting a manual transmission. And so this makes the M2 more exciting for me than the C8 Corvette. It's a tough pool of cars to choose from with $60,000, but the M2, in terms of its power and its cornering ability, its braking, its acceleration, its interior design, it would be hard to choose anything outside of the M2. Just the one problem is the exterior, and the C8 Corvette to me looks a whole lot better than the M2. It's just the C8 Corvettes are everywhere. So you do feel a bit more special sitting in the M2 than you would in a C8 Corvette if you're seeing your car all over the place. Thank you guys so much for watching. Drop your thoughts in the comments below on the M2. If you do own this car, I would love to hear your thoughts as well. I appreciate you for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon in the next video. Peace out.